Hey, what's happening, guys? You guys have tuned into Tough Teens, and this is a YouTube channel where we talk about, troubled teen schools, boot camps, behavior modification programs, things like that. On this channel, I've kind of shared stories of being kidnapped in the middle of the night and taken away to one of these schools, my time in these schools, what an average day is like, what the food is like. And these videos are really for anybody. You know, if maybe you've been to one of these schools and you're just kind of looking for somebody to relate to, somebody to share stories with. Maybe you're a parent who is thinking about sending your child away to one of these schools and you want to know kind of what's in store, what is it really like. Maybe you have a kid that's at one of these schools right now and you're kind of wondering what they're up to, what they're thinking, what they're dealing with. Or maybe just from kind of a sociology, psychology perspective, you're kind of wondering what this experience is like. Maybe you're just kind of like mind-fucked that these types of schools kind of even exist. But in today's video, what I wanted to talk about is kind of the most difficult part, at least for me, of being away at one of these schools. Obviously it's there's a lot of challenges. It's not necessarily a really comfortable experience. You're going to school 6 days a week. You got calisthenics and things like that. The food isn't good. You're living with, 15 other guys in a room. You've been taken away from home. You're out of your comfort zone. So many things going on. At many of these places, you're not treated very well. So it's not an easy life. There's a lot that's kind of uncomfortable or undesirable about being in one of these situations. But the thing for me that was the most difficult is just kind of realizing that the world around you is going on without you. And if you've ever watched any prisoner interviews or heard an interview from somebody who's been to prison, that's one thing that I hear a lot of people say is it's kind of weird that, we were teenagers when we were in there, so we didn't have kids or anything like that. But you'll hear a prisoner say something like it's weird that your child is on the outside and they're growing up without, I went into prison when I was, when my kid was just born and, all of a sudden next thing you know, they're 7 years old and the world's kind of going by without you. And kind of the same, obviously I was a teenager, I didn't have kids, but just the fact that the world outside is going on without you. I remember this hit me very early on. I think I probably wound up getting there sometime midweek. And I remember the first Friday that I was in there, we used to have, classes basically all day and up until after dinner. And so I think the last class ended at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, which is just kind of weird. You're used to getting out of school at 3:25 when it's still light out. So I'm in the middle of Montana in the woods, snow's falling. There was just this kind of eerie feeling around the camp because, you got those high pressure sodium lights, those lights that kind of throw off that yellow light, and it just kind of gives everything kind of an eerie glow. You're in the middle of nowhere. You're out of your comfort zone. But I remember sitting in class and, class wasn't really like a school. It was basically self-taught. Everybody was kind of on your own program. You got an old beat up textbook, you taught yourself, and at the end of each chapter, you would go get a 10-question test that you would complete and turn in. So it's not like a teacher was teaching a class or anything like that. But I remember looking out the window and seeing the snow falling, and it was nighttime, and I knew it was Friday. I remember thinking to myself, what are my friends up to right now? They're probably they're probably all meeting up over at my buddy Colin's house, getting ready to hang out on Friday night or go out somewhere. And I was kind of thinking, what would I be doing if I was home? And it was just kind of a weird feeling that everything that normally went on back home was still going on back home. But I wasn't a part of it. And, that was the first real awakening. But that's something that kind of occurred to me throughout my time there. When a holiday would come by, I remember Easter, I'm sitting in the cafeteria Easter morning eating cornflakes. And I think because it was a holiday, we got one of those Otis Spunkermeyer muffins. I think I probably got an oat bran muffin or something like that. And I remember sitting there thinking my family's, probably having, French toast for breakfast on Easter. And then they're, here shortly, they're going to be heading over to my grandparents' house. And here I am, across the country in the mountains of Montana, cleaning toilets, because, holidays are, I think maybe they let us watch a movie or something like that on a holiday. But I mean, besides that, most of your day was kind of like Groundhog Day, pretty structured. I remember another instance, my entire family wound up going on a cruise for my grandparents' 50th anniversary. All my cousins, all my aunts and uncles, my grandparents, my parents, my sister. And again, it was just kind of, I remember even knowing that they were there, it kind of stuck out in my head. But even afterwards, if sometimes your family might send you pictures or something. And I think I got a picture of my whole family on this cruise. And it was just very odd that, I don't know, I guess we all have this very weird idea that we're very important to the world. We're very big in the world. And ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, we're a tiny speck on this planet. We're not very important. The world would go on without us. But we all, I think, whether we're kids or adults, have this idea that we're kind of the center of the world in a way. And I think probably even more so as a teenager. So it's just kind of weird that the world continues to spin. Your family, your friends, they continue to go to school, to go to work, to have get-togethers, to live their lives. And you're just kind of like, I don't know, almost in this different universe. Nothing's moving forward for you, but everything's moving forward for everybody else. And you're just kind of biding your time until you can get back to the real world. But despite, bad food, being hungry a lot of the times, not necessarily being treated the best, being homesick, being away from your friends and family, that was kind of the biggest thing that I think really stuck out to me, or the biggest thing that I struggled with, is it's really weird that the rest of the world continues to go on and live their lives, even though you're not there and you're not a part of it. But if you've been to one of these schools, if you've been to one of these camps, one of these programs, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what your experience was like, what the thing that you struggled with the most. And, this kind of issue that I brought up of it being weird that, life kind of goes on even though you're not part of it. Let me know if that's something that you experienced or dealt with or thought of. But that's all I really got for you guys today. We're going to keep today's video pretty short and sweet. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below, and we'll catch you on the next video, guys. Later.